In this video, we're going to be talking about time frames. When is this stimulus package going to be passed? Well, there's a couple of things standing in the way. Number one, we have a few Republicans threatening to delay the bill. They can't stop it, but they can delay it a couple of days. Number two, reported threats of Capitol riots once again that have actually shut down the Congress from debating and voting on things by an additional day. And depending on what other Republicans want to do with this, they can add in amendments and make this process even longer. Again, not stopping it, but delaying it. So we're going to talk about how long they can actually delay this bill from getting debated and voted on by the Senate before it goes back to Nancy Pelosi in the House of Representatives to vote on the same bill. Not only that, it's tax time, which makes the IRS's job just that much harder and could complicate some things as to how fast they can get these stimulus payments out, assuming Joe Biden signs it by March 14th, which is their deadline. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now, this YouTube channel, I am covering the state of stimulus checks, basically following all these stimulus check updates, these stimulus package updates from day to day. So if you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button and don't forget to tap the bell notification icon. And YouTube will then actually notify you when I release a new video. And if you're a subscriber, a big thank you because you guys have been doing an awesome job of smashing that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it and it really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. So regardless if you're new to the channel, you can do the same thing. Smash that thumbs up button, it really helps out. All right guys, well let's get into it. Okay, well right now, giving Joe Manchin and Mitch McConnell a run for their money for the most hated man potentially in Washington is Republican Senator Ron Johnson. It was his idea that said, well, I'm going to have the Senate read out loud all 700 pages of this bill before they actually do a vote on it. This is one thing that typically Congress does before a bill. They have the opportunity to have somebody read it out loud. Most times they basically just forgo it because they already have the text. They can just read it for what it is. But Senator Ron Johnson is trying to attempt to delay and stall. Why? I really don't know, because he can't stop it. Now here's the thing. He can only do that by requesting that this thing be read out loud, which it's assuming it's going to take up to 10 hours. Now that basically just takes one working day out of the Senate's hands to actually do any debating or possible voting on the bill. Clearly he's against the stimulus package, but doing this, I really don't know what it signals. Maybe to the people that voted you in office, it makes you look like you're doing your job, I guess. But on the other hand, you're not really doing anything productive, you're just kind of being a jerk. Not only that, he has the opportunity to raise amendments. So once the Budget Committee actually gets done finalizing the estimated costs of this stimulus plan, which they have to do before they could actually debate any amendments and take up a vote and things like that, it'll probably take a couple of days to get that back. Once that happens, senators can continue to add in amendments, of which the Senate has to take hand-raising votes on, verbal votes on whether or not they want to include those amendments into the bill. As it stands right now, there is a cap of 20 hours of debate. This is called a vote-a-rama. The House of Representatives just went through it a couple of weeks ago, in where 20 hours of basically voting on this, that, and the other thing, different kinds of amendments, goes on, most of which get rejected, some of which may actually make it into the language of the bill, but nonetheless, it's capped at 20 hours. But still, 20 hours is a lot. Congress, yes, they do work late into the night, into the very early mornings sometimes, but still, that's going to add an additional 1 to 2 day delay onto the passage of this bill through the Senate. And so as it stands right now, even if you're probably talking a 3-day delay. We've heard from Steny Hoyer, who has said more than likely that the vote on this is going to take place probably on Monday. Chuck Schumer had hoped to get a vote on this by Friday, possibly Saturday, but because of all these extra delays, probably not going to happen until Monday. And when they do vote on it, it's going to include some of the new items that recently just came out in the news. Most notably, the new income caps that are happening for the stimulus checks. So Joe Manchin, who threatened to hold everything up, now seems to be working with Joe Biden and compromising a few things, making the bill a little more targeted. Well, basically, the only thing they did was make that phase-out plan from people who make, say, for a single, for instance, $75,000 to $100,000, they were going to get a phased-out stimulus check. Well, now that's gone from $75,000 to $80,000. So that phase-out plan is going to happen very quickly. Same with couples. The phase-out was going to be $150,000 to $200,000. Now it's going to be $150,000 $260,000. Now, this does limit the scope of people who could be eligible for receiving stimulus checks, basically getting rid of the phase out, and they are going to go by your 2020 taxes if you already have them done, or your 2019 taxes, or possibly your 2018 taxes. So if you're a stimulus seeker and you want to make sure you get within that number, it's in your best interest to figure out which year you made that least amount of money, and if it was 2020, make sure you get those tax returns in. Republican Senator John Cornyn of Texas was basically said part of the reason that they're adding in all of these amendments and forcing votes on certain things is that they want to show some of the controversial topics, some of the controversial things that are in this stimulus bill, and actually see senator by senator who's going to vote for him and who's not going to vote for him, simply to essentially show Joe Biden what he's actually putting these senators in to vote for. And one of those things is actually the unemployment extension, because as of right now, it's written into the bill that the unemployment extension would go to the end of August. By making an amendment or a change that the unemployment benefit boost would go to the end of September, just that one more month extension would force them to maybe cut back on some other things. And just having that conversation is sort of the goal of what these Republican senators are trying to do. So as the senators get ready to debate and go through this process to get it ready for approval, which I believe it will pass, then they're going to send it back to the House, which both Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer said there's not really going to be any changes made to the bill so egregious that the House of Representatives wouldn't pass it again. Now, the first time around, the House of Representatives passed by a vote of 219 to 212. All of the yeses were all Democrats. All of the noes were all Republicans, plus 2 Democrats. It's unlikely that that would change, and it looks like that would probably stay the same based on their comments. All of this winding down until the March 14th deadline when some of the unemployment benefits lapse. Joe Biden and his administration do not want it on their shoulders to let some of those benefits lapse. They want something in place before that would actually happen. But once it does, rest assured, there are already groups of lawmakers already working on this 4th stimulus check. Yes, I said 4th stimulus check, not 4th stimulus package. Yeah, it's going to be a stimulus package. But included in that, they're already trying to work in stimulus checks. And if you listen to Bernie Sanders, he is going to make absolutely sure of it that written into the bill is monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic ends. No idea when that's going to be. No idea when that is tied to. If it's going to be tied to GDP, the unemployment rate, certain other factors we may not know for a month or two when they actually get down to talking about it. As we know, this bill was supposed to be passed, first week of February. Didn't happen, but it is happening. So, 4th stimulus check package. I'd like to know what you guys think. In the comment section down below, let me know when you think this 4th stimulus package will actually get into process. Is all kinds of proposals that are going to be flying around. One of the things that keep coming up when I do research for this, and I see something like $2,000 per month per person or per family or whatever it is basically a push towards universal basic income. And I'd like to know what you guys think, because that is a very, very controversial topic. But in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think about that. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below. I greatly appreciate it. In any case, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the end, watching it this long. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, check out the community tab on my channel. I have a whole bunch of polls, questions about the stimulus plans, stimulus checks, because I want to know what you guys think. I want this to be a continued conversation and a thriving community. Comment section down below is always very active. Please feel free to participate in that. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.